Alright, hello everyone, it's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action after a bit of a hiatus. This is round 3 of the Not Dead Yet tournament. First to 4, standard counterpick rules, all cast legal, versus JonnyD. So I am lining up with Trock, and JonnyD, because he is a monster, an agent of chaos and destruction wherever he goes, is going to, I think he random rolled every single character. Whenever he had the opportunity to select a character, he random rolled them. So against a random roll, I am very, very happy to play a character like Trock. He does incredibly well against a very large selection of the cast, and damn, do we have a lot of tools at our disposal. We basically have everything we could possibly want in our opening hand except for a Joker. I'm going to spend a while just blocking because that is the most conservative option against Valerie in the early game. It is defeated by Valerie just blocking as well, but I don't know. I'm trying to get a sense of how JonnyD is going to play this opener, and until I have more information, I am going to go with the more conservative approach of just blocking. And just like that, we have now activated our ability to be able to play any aces that we get into our hand, and we're all set for the rest of the game. And we've picked up our Joker, so this should be a one game. So now that I've got both attached blocks, it's going to be less likely that I'm going to be playing defensive options. So it's very strongly incentivized for JonnyD to go in here, and he does nicely blow up a K throw and ignores the threat of Joker and lands 26 damage, putting me at 66. So nice bit of an opener there. He's going to be able to get 4 aces into his hand and set himself up nicely for the rest of the match. So for this next turn, he is threatening a 1.0 speed attack or block. And I can either play queen or block or get thrown. And he chooses to play the conservative thing, plays the block, gets around my immediate attempt to defeat his single ace, and gets himself up to 10 cards. So 6 non-ace cards in hand. That's important to keep track of. He's played nothing but attacks so far. Yeah, nicely pokes out a king throw. Yeah, he's playing a very standard kind of game plan right now. He's not doing any silly stuff. Just gets aces in hand, plays a block to prevent the immediate play that would beat immediate aces, and then once he sees that I've played one, decides that he can safely play another with relative impunity. And yeah, aces deal a fair amount of damage. 10 damage, and they draw him a card. That's not bad at all. So there we go. We've out-patienced him. I was like, surely he won't immediately play another option that loses to the thing I am perfectly willing to play. No, definitely willing to do that. And our chicanery, I'll just put it that way, our stupidity, our bullheadedness to play into single ace will either allow us to get more blocks off, or make him think that we will continue to play unsafe. So it switches back to block now that 3 kings are in the discard, since kings are relatively safe to play in neutral as a throw, because they don't lose to as many attacks as other throws do, which is all of them. So kings might still get us some value. Unfortunately, there we run into a red king of his. We've got immediate bold strokes, threatening a lot of damage. So immediate face down. Looks like he's not going to respect that. Goes in with 4 normals and then is... Oh, no, that's right. So he might take 1 normal back and play 2 aces. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so very glad that we had the Joker there. I'm not sure if he thought I didn't have it because I face downed earlier and it wasn't a Joker. But either way, fairly happy with those results. With no great face cards in hand, we can go ahead and discard some cards to get Beast Unleashed into play. And then we have the threat of dodging into Beast Unleashed or just playing Beast Unleashed. And about 90% of the time, I'm going to immediately dodge here because the very obvious play is just to attack with Joker backup. And that's why occasionally just playing it raw is pretty great because this avoids the Joker. He tried to play it safe by trying to block out a dodge. And that means that we get 45 unjokerable damage and the momentum of the game immediately shifts very hard in our direction. So he's now in the end game. I've got 50 hit points. He's got a fair amount of aces, but I think 2 aces remain in hand. And we can continue to slow play. Oh, we get really lucky. We get really lucky on the color of the king there. And pick up 3 sevens which we can immediately convert into aces. It is important to have 1.0 speed attacks in hand. Bull Rush, both sides of Bull Rush can be very badly beaten by king with burst of speed backing. So it is not as safe as it seems. Far better to just put a 1.0 speed attack into play. Nice throw on his part. I went for the block because I was expecting queen. And he blew that up really, really nicely. Good call on his part. Leads into 22 damage, taking me ever closer to lethal. Has not played any queens yet. I get rid of the dodge there to make this next dodge less likely and therefore hopefully more successful. If I had a Joker, I would absolutely go for a cross-up here or a throw. But as I do not, I'm going to think about whether I'm going to just play the Eagle Totem or do something else. Yeah, and there, he's got the queen. So last turn, he went for the throw, and that kind of implies, you know, if I had had the queen, I would have played it just because. Therefore, since I threw, I definitely don't have the queen, and now my queen is that much more successful. Luckily, pick up queen of my own. Dodge does become more and more likely for him to find lethal with. We get poked out by the 2. Could have played either of our face cards, but I thought that dodge was way more likely. And I guess he made a call of, oh, okay, you probably don't have another dodge. And he gets lethal. So nicely played by JonnyD. Good first game. Got to make some better calls on our part. We're going to prevail here. We get the pity pack. But yeah, very, very standard game plan on my part there. Definitely, well, except for the end. I played a little bit greedy and wild on the last couple of turns. I had more dominant options that I could have gone for, but went for mind games instead and got blowed up. So we're going to go back to blocking. No sense face downing here. Any cards he spends after this throw are in my favor. Now we've got to decide if we can afford to block even, which Valerie's really like going for odd cross-up attacks. Yeah, there we see the 5 come out. And we get to stymie that with 20 damage worth of hurt. And yeah, you can see the opening 5 to blow up Wake Up King, because Wake Up King option selects both a early game block, which Valerie definitely wants to do, and a low cross up normal. So it's kind of less likely for you to successfully hit a wake up, like Wake Up with Queen or Jack or something like that. So King is very, very favored in the early game, and therefore anti-King play is also very strong in the early game. Okay, so kind of an awkward hand, it seems like, for JonnyD there. So we can respond to that in one of two ways. We can either go in, we can start throwing him, because we know we're not going to take a tremendous amount of damage. Yeah, he's still cycling bold strokes here to try to find damage, find a straight. Okay, earlier bold stroke, yeah. So very likely that he bold strokes into one of those 6s. I think you almost never want to hit with anything less than 4 in the early game, so you have the threat of 2 1.0 speed aces or throw into Masterpiece. Yeah, and he's getting me with this conservative play here. It's like, okay, got one ace, played an ace. Until you believe that I'm going to play it, I'm just going to play it. And very even life totals, which definitely favors him right now. I've got fairly low hand size. I need to make some correct calls here. I don't like tagging anything on there because it puts me down to a lower hand size than I really want. I still want to be able, like, being able to power up 4 cards into 2 aces is still very good in this matchup. Yeah, we got blown up with a king, but this is no normal draw, so we have a chance of surviving this and getting getting into a beneficial strategic position of him having kind of an awkward hand. Unfortunately, he's just got all of his aces, so 30 hit points is not exactly the life total I want to be doing this kind of stuff at, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Luckily, he's opening up with some more throws here, and we get to tag on some damage. I still think just dealing 8 damage and putting him on the ground and setting up a block would be okay, but sure. Okay, 15 damage is also not bad. We have a queen, I suppose, is the reasoning. I don't know. I don't really love getting the 7 damage there. I don't think it does a tremendous amount for us. Okay, tentative life lead here. Well, equal footing. And we keep drawing queens, so we're probably going to keep playing queens. We've got 8 cards in hand, so he's really not starved for cards. I mean, block's not unreasonable in this position, but it's not like I expect like a high amount of blocking from him. And 2 queens later, we are in a great spot. Yeah, the Joker gives us a lot of play. We can almost... Unfortunately, he's at 19 and not... Okay, there we go. Getting closer to that lethal. So if we have one more attached block, we can 9 throw, or there we go, we found a real throw. If we get one more attached block, we can 2 throw into 8. I don't know why I would attack with the 8. rather than just throw with the 2. But I mean, I guess it works. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because we've got lethal off of this. Yeah, sorry. Completely forgot. So we had lethal off of that and basically nothing else. So I went for the high value, high risk, high reward. Although it was very low risk because I had the Joker. And now we can basically spam dodges for a considerable amount of the rest of this game. Yeah, get around his queen. He's too scared to throw because we've punished a bunch of his throws at this point. Put him at 1 hit point. Threaten chip out with either queen or jack or double ace. And then dodge. Yeah. So he has to play either queen or gold burst if he believes that I have a queen or a jack. Specifically if I have a queen. And it's reasonable that I would have one of the 2 remaining queens. Okay, so immediate random into Midori. Not a matchup that I love as Troc. Midori has a lot of tools that make Troc's mid-game very awkward, notably Dragon Form. Dragon Form makes Troc's mid-game of having kind of soft blocks where he's got 2 blocks attached, and therefore any attacks are going to disappear. Makes that more awkward to navigate. You don't have your regular mix-up of dodge or Beast Unleashed. You have a mix-up of attack or Beast Unleashed. Because dodges just don't work against Midori. So that's kind of difficult to deal with. Midori can just draw a hand that he can myrtleize you with in the early game. He risks less by playing his super throw, which only commits 2 aces rather than all 4 right off the bat. Although that does make Joker play against him more effective in the mid game. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but I think generally it's a worse game for Troc than it is for Midori. So nice, we get to take 2 cards out of Midori's hand with that 2 throw. So strategic combat loss there. We got 4, 5, 6, and he has not poked with 4s yet. So the advantage that Troc has in the matchup is that his blocks are pretty good in the early game. Midori's throws are not as good as Troc's are. His throws are 0.8 speed, and his best throw is on his best normal throw is on his 2, which he's almost never going to reveal. So essentially, Troc has 8 ranks of dominant throws in the early game. In the mid and late game, Midori definitely has the advantage. His kings are 1.8 speed, so they are going to absolutely wreck your Troc's 2s and kings. But we've got him at a very low hand, and Midori is very, very card hungry. So we can definitely try to make as much magic happen here as we possibly can. This is definitely a cross-up attempt situation. Anything he plays that isn't a 4, specifically a 4, loses to this 4, essentially. Unless he blocks correctly. So, nicely done on his part. He essentially escapes from low-hand prisons. 7 cards in hand for Midori isn't all that much, though. He can still quite enjoy blocking. We don't have any of our blocks attached. So duffing some throws is also a good plan, and we've got a nice hand for it. 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8 if we're feeling very feisty. Pretty good options all around. Got a queen and a singleton ace. That's not going to do a tremendous amount for us. And we are feeding Midori's hunger for cards. So that's not ideal either. But we have an okay hand. 8 cards in hand is very reasonable for Trock, who really doesn't need to have a hand size more than like 5 or 6. Nice. We duff an aggressive or possibly defensive 3-throw. We have to try to cash in some damage, and we do. 21 and another ace is very sweet. Them hurtin' fists, and he is below the magic value of 45. But we have threat of Beast Unleashed if we want to go for it. We haven't done a tremendous amount of blocking either, so he might get antsy and decide to go in with some queens and jacks. We haven't really played any face cards at all. Okay, 7 attack to try to duff out another throw and either go into just 7-8 for 15, or the Eagle Totem as an ender for 27. Okay, he does find Dragon Form. But we no longer have that 10. Essentially does not exist in our hand. Far more likely going to use it for its ability. I'm very incentivized to block here because he has not played any queens, and so immediate hard duff is pretty good. Now we've got a decision: do we want to combo into queen, or do we just leave it there, or do we go for double aces? Okay, and luckily it doesn't seem like he has or wants to spend the Joker yet. 14 hit points still leaves him in a position where he is able to Joker everything except King Throw. So if we're revealing something here, we might want to go with something that beats King Throw. So yeah, just blocking is fine. Ooh, we get hit with the Buster. No lethal here, but we're definitely face downing. Oh no, we're not. Okay, never mind. Okay, so only had the 2 aces, and unfortunately for him, power up after the fact is very unfortunate. Yeah, this is like the least efficient way to use Final Dragon Buster, unfortunately. It's very likely that he just doesn't have the cards that he needs. So very specifically, he doesn't have another king. So blocking here again is probably just fine, or we can try to end the game by poking out Final Dragon Buster. So either 4 into Jack or 5 into Queen will do that. Or we can again play a little bit slower. Okay, went for Queen. This is very likely only to be for 14. Hence the no face down. He can't combo into aces. Okay, he's got 2 aces and 2 mystery cards on the draw. Yeah, so we're gonna toss him again. Nice, we found the Joker. Okay, and we are very likely going to go in again here. 5 cross up is very tempting. It loses to so little. Yeah, okay. It does lose the Jack, and this will be lethal, but luckily we have the Joker. And yeah, he's pretty much guaranteed to follow up into that, and yeah. Unfortunate on his part, yeah, and we get the guaranteed lethal here on the next turn, as he is going to draw 1 card. And then I'll be able to throw into Bull Rush or lethal. Yep, there it is. This is why you cannot go to one card against Trock. Trock just has every single tool. Yep. Yeah, he had to bank on me not having the Joker there if he was going to follow up, which is not a bad idea. Definitely not a bad idea. I mean, we did go halfway through the game. I had not drawn any Jokers yet, or played any Jokers yet. Yeah, okay, so here we go. It's grappler fights. This I think is I can't remember if I thought this was Rook favored at any point. If I did, I believe I'm wrong. I think it's definitely Trock favored. The reasoning being Trock has the better throws. Trock has dodges, which are actually important in this matchup. And Trock has the better attacks. He has all the DPs. He has, you know, his queen and Jack deal better single card damage than Rook's queen or Jack do. Rook can't really afford to trade hit points against Trock unless he's already ahead, which he's doing. He's getting ahead. But yeah, no, I think this is solidly in Trock's favor. Five hit point advantage basically doesn't mean anything. Rook does have some nice damage off of his 5 block in this matchup. He blocks a singleton Jack or Queen. That is you know 10 or 9 damage. That's very respectable. You've got good setups off of 3 attack, except if Trock has either a king or a jack. More likely to be the jack, but either way. Okay. So I'm playing this early game fairly aggressively as soon as I have a throw that will, you know, a 2 or a king throw. So nice life lead on his part here. But is not really managing to build much of a hand. So he's trying to beat me on single card value, and I think Trock wins that game. Okay, narrowly avoid getting exploderated by a by a neutral 10. That would have been very unfortunate for us. The neutral 10 also tells me that he's probably got another queen in hand. Either that or he's got another jack and 10 in hand. We're looking for a 6 to be able to complete a straight there. So we've really got either a block or, yeah, throw. There we go. Find another king. 100% success rate so far. And we even up the life totals. Okay, we've got a good throw or a good block. And yeah, choose to go for the throw instead. Nice. Beat the king throw after playing 2 of them. And yeah, might as well tag on 9 damage there. Get more of a life lead. Double ace is pretty sweet. We can hit confirm that with the 4. we got art discussion in chat. Yeah, Rook's normal punches definitely draw a lot of inspiration from I think it's what's his name? The Guilty Gear grappler. Potemkin's I think it's his slash. He's got this kind of like I am available for Potemkin voiceover work, of course, after that incredible performance. All right, we're going to try to get another attached block here. We are denied. Just going block is fine. Doesn't seem like he's really drawn into particularly excellent throws that he's willing to throw with. He has not yet indicated he's willing to play like 3s as throws. Hasn't drawn any 2s so far. Single K played. which means that Trox 5 is very good, as Rook does not have a throw on his 4. So the 5 is probably a dominant throw here. We're just going to slow roll it, go for more blocks. Rook does get pretty good value off of having a high hand size. But we have a life lead, so even rock armor isn't tremendously effective. And continually blocking means that he's got to go in with relatively efficient, but not particularly damaging throws of his own. Since his throws only deal 10 or 15 or 50. But we haven't seen any power up, and he's only about a third of the way through his deck, so not going to consider Checkmate Buster real. There we go. Finally get our second attached block. We have 2 5s we can immediately convert into the third ace we need. And we draw a king as well. Not sure why I would not power up for the aces. I suppose I could get, if I successfully dodge here, I might be able to get a joker without powering up anything. So that's maybe a line that I could, I'm definitely not contemplating it. I think this is just an oversight. Powering up the 5s there and not going for the dodge, I think, is not a great line. Okay, we deal some chip. Still not there yet. Okay, powering up with the 9s instead of the 5s. Why do that? It makes my dodge less likely and therefore possibly more successful. I don't need a tremendous amount of dodges. Because I'm not expecting to need to successfully dodge many times before I land Beast Unleashed. Nice. We undercut the 6. We bait the Joker. We're likely going to get rock armored here, but we can Joker that as well if we want to. Or we can just take the damage on the chin, put him to 7 cards, give him the ace, and hope he doesn't have Checkmate Buster so that our dodges are still effective and not death traps. Okay, knock him down. We've got cross-up threat. I hope I check his discard fairly soon here. Cross-up attempt here is pretty good. So is just dodging, frankly. But cross-up attempt is pretty good. I should be checking his discard, yeah. So 2 9s, 2 8s. So the yeah, so I thought special block might be. It seems like his discard is saying I've definitely got special blocks. So I was like, okay, well, he might think to try to get around that by just playing an even block. And luckily we duff out a king. Not too sure what the... Wow, yeah. Draw the 3rd ace off the top. Yeah, sometimes it provides. Yeah, go for the knockdown again. Might as well. We have the play. Cross-ups are still very strong. Yeah, so very strong. I think going for the double 10 play is not all that smart. Because now we're committed to either king or ace-ace, to be frank. We get blown up by double ace, which is not great. There are things that immediately kill us now if they hit us. So immediate reveal queen, for instance. If it duffs a high normal, and we now no longer have any dodges, so we can't even get around that. We have to get around it by beating it, and that opens up special block as well. So if he's feeling cheeky, he can 2-throw here to try to beat king. Yeah, and he was gambling on the fact that I had 2 known aces in hand, and had not powered up for the 3rd one. So went for the unexpected one. Could have played just the king there, but honestly, I was dead to... I'd rather not lose to 2 in that instance. I think it's actually better just to go for lethal. I had the 2-throw in hand, or no, sorry, 2-throw I think came off of my attach. So I think though that looked really weird and kind of BM, I think that was the best play in that situation. You don't want to lose that game by king throwing into a 2-throw. Okay, our opening hand is total cheeks, so there is no reason not to block. Even a 7-throw doesn't really punish this. So opening jack, he wants to take my damn head off. We've got an option of second turn queen to try to beat, you know, an opener that says, oh, I don't actually have any fast cards in hand, so just queen me if I seem like I'm being aggressive. And then he activates his blocks that way. Okay, 2 attack. 2 attack does indicate that he doesn't have... Well, it doesn't really mean that he doesn't have black face cards. But man, do we have a lot of cards in hand. Holy smokes. We can deal some damage with this hand. We've got plenty of queens, plenty of kings, relatively safe stuff in neutral. He's playing a lot of low normals, which now tells me, like, okay, you're either completely not afraid of king, or you just don't have anything that beats king. The fact that I'm willing to play queen there probably indicates that I can be successful with king. Okay, so no. At this point, I'm just thinking, okay, his hand is incredibly soft to king at this point. There's no way you reveal that many normals in a row on a hand with some, you know, with a black jack or king in hand. Even a queen at this point. And we're just in a absolutely fantastic position. We've got our kings activated. You know, he's going to be feeling scared of further kings. Nice. Get trade with the jack. That is a red king, so we don't even discard anything. Immediate power up for queen. Okay. But he's at 40 hit points. We've got both attached cards and plenty of hit points. So it's really no threat to play into queen here. And just go for damage. Half remaining hit points dealt. Yeah, if I had a higher normal than the 6, I would, like if I had the 7 or the 8, I would definitely go for normal throw here, but since I don't, might as well go for king. Puts him at 4. I'm pretty sure at this point that his only real card in hand is that black queen, so I'm just going to keep throwing until he dies. Yeah, there we go. 3 7s in a row. Unfortunately, was not willing to play the queen because that was probably the only thing he had that could mount anything. So nicely done, JonnyD. Thanks for the games, and I move on to, yeah, unfortunately Troc is pretty mean, but play to win. All right, thanks for watching, and until next time, enjoy yourselves some Yomi. If you'd like to get involved, as always, links for the description are in the video below. Cheers.